everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Pro Series podcast. This is episode 66 with Julius from Passio Interiors. Passio Interiors is an Australian company. It specializes in solid brass, high quality hardware. We go over how the company got started, Julius's background, and some future things of Passio Interiors. But before we get started, please make sure you like, subscribe, and review this podcast on wherever you listen to podcasts. And now I hope you enjoy episode 66 with Julius from Passio Interiors. Awesome. Julius, thank you so much for hopping onto the Pro Series podcast with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, so I always like to start off every episode on how I found my guest. And I think it was just strictly an organic Instagram search. I specialize in interior design, kitchen and bath in particular. So obviously your kitchen hardware came into one of my explore pages or something like that, and it's just beautifully done on how you guys create your content for your page, because you could strictly just take pictures of the hardware itself, but you're taking pictures of the whole job, which I mean, it's awesome. We'll talk more about the product is into this interview, but I want to start off in seeing, how did Passio Interiors start out?
Right. So yeah, look, I'm one of the co-founders and one of the directors at Passio. So we are an Australian supplier of solid brass hardware, and that's cabinet hardware, door hardware, and general home hardware.
Okay.
We really saw it sounds cliche, but we really did see a gap in the market, not for hardware, but for high quality hardware in particular.
Okay.
So with with our product offerings, there's a really big focus on quality, longevity, a range of styles, and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's basically where it started, just based on a simple gap in the market,
Mhm.
and we just decided to move into that.
So how did you find this gap? Were you doing a kitchen remodel yourself?
Look, yeah, actually, personally, I was doing a kitchen remodel, and then that came into the whole discussion of like what sort of products to offer. But I guess just looking around, you could clearly see a few years ago, back in 2019, when we started, there really wasn't that much in the way of high quality hardware. As I
Mhm.
said before, hardware, it's not a new product, of course. You've got cabinet handles, you've got cabinet knobs, they exist, but really, there's not much in the way of high quality stuff. There's such a major touch point, not only in kitchens and bathrooms, but just across the whole home. So making sure that that first touch, I suppose, is like a long lasting memory, that is a really big focus of ours.
Okay. So before Passio came, were you in the market to start your own business, or what were you doing before this that got you into this world?
Right. Look, so I don't have personally, I don't have a background in interior design, but growing up in my early childhood, watching my family renovate and make over homes, as well as my mother, who was a real estate agent and a home stager at the time, she was constantly carting me around to different homes. So I really got to learn what the, what the difference between just a normal design and a really high quality one, or a good design, I suppose. I got to learn what those differences are.
Okay.
And then with a background in sales, business, and marketing, that really propelled us into, moving into this sort of industry. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you started the business, I'm not very particularly familiar with how to start a material business like this.
Yeah.
What was like the very first step you did? Did you have to go out and find someone to fabricate this stuff? Or did you start the website first? What did you do?
Yes, look, I mean, it's a little bit different depending on your business model. So for us, we're 100% e-commerce. So,
Oh,
among the first steps is making sure that your website is looking, really good and memorable and high quality. But more generally speaking, in business, I think the first step generally should just be looking for a problem to solve, or in our case, it's a gap that you should fill. So that is always the first step. And then, of course, after that, it's market research and learning, what is it what is it in particular about that product that people want,
mhm.
and what are the offerings currently on the market, and what don't those products offer the consumer. So yeah, look, as I said, it's different for every business, but I think there is a general process that most would follow. And then,
Mhm.
of course, after that, that's when you get into your product development and knowing what are the first key ranges that we should start to offer, and how can we improve on what's already there.
Very cool. So right now, you say e-commerce. Is anybody in the world able to buy from you guys? Get
Yeah, absolutely. So look, we began in Australia, but we immediately expanded. We can ship anywhere in the world. So we've seen our products being used all the way from Eastern Europe all the way to Hawaii. So it's yeah, that's really inspiring for us to see that. But it also shows us that there's a demand for these kind of products all across the world. You know, it's not limited to a certain few countries. It really is an innate human desire, I guess, to have high quality hardware in your home.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned before that you started this in 2019, so like right before the pandemic. Did that
Yeah.
affect you at all?
Look, Australia was a little bit sheltered from the pandemic a little bit, especially where we are in Perth, Western Australia. So we didn't really feel the true effects of it as much as the rest of the world did. But certainly, yeah, it did affect the supply chain. It did affect getting your products out to customers in the rest of the world. But
Mhm.
it gave us that really a good foundation to expand our range in Australia, get lots of product photos from our customers, and collaborate with people, and just see how people are putting these puzzle pieces together to create their dream designs.
Absolutely. So did you see, I know in the US, COVID hit us hard and everybody was stuck at home working from home, and
Mm.
our industry went skyrocketed just because people were stuck in their homes looking at, their ugly kitchen or something. Did you see sales increase during COVID for you guys in the US from your US customers?
Yeah, actually, we did. You're totally right. And I imagine that is completely because of the fact people are stuck in their homes. They're only looking at the same thing every day. So yeah, we did. We definitely did notice an uptick in sales from the US. I mean, also in Australia as well. The corporate culture, people were working from home a lot more, so the same kind of theme applied there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to go over to your Instagram page. So that's what caught my eye. And
Okay.
like you said, it's not a new product. It's hardware. It's I kind of call it like the jewelry of the kitchen. But
Yeah.
you guys go about your content in a completely different way, like taking pictures of the whole full picture of a kitchen or a bathroom. Why did you guys take that route? I think it's genius because it shows what the actual job will look like, but you could easily, there's hardware companies all over the place that just take pictures. They're like in a green screen or wherever. You just see the piece of hardware.
Yeah.
Why did you go to this direction?
Look, so it's all well and good to just have a high quality, nice looking photo of a product on a white background. It shows you what it looks like, but it doesn't show you how it's truly going to look, right? That's exactly what you just said. So our big focus is on customer love, making sure that we get photos from our customers and our clients to see what the jobs look like with the hardware in place. It's not only inspiring for us to see from the top view, but it's also inspiring for our future clients to see how it's going to look when they install it in their space. And our hope is for them to look at, this design, look at that design, and get the best of both those two designs and sort of combine them. So, that's assisted by our really wide range. We offer plenty of different finishes and textures for people to mix and match as they please. And that, basically this whole melding pot just means that people can have unique designs easily.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, one question I have is a word of advice for someone. I mean, I know in my just being a designer itself, it's hard getting pictures of your final product just because it's so far down the line and you kind of forget about it because you're working on so many jobs, or customers are just not willing to get the pictures. How are
Yeah.
you guys going about that, getting your customers to send you pictures?
Right. So I think it just starts with the culture of making sure that the customer is aware of our Instagram and our social media, and the fact that we already do share lots and lots of content in that space. So straight away, when someone is kind of deciding like, hey, should I get my project photographed? Should I not? We kind of, I guess, set the base point and let them see that that is already happening, and they should really focus on it because it helps so many people. And it's also a cherishable memory for those people when they finish their project to be able to look back at those, the early days of when it was finished, when everything was clean, of course.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess it's really about creating that culture of, hey, look, people are already doing it. You're helping a lot of people, and you're helping yourself in the future as well by looking back on those memories.
Yeah, and looking through your Instagram account, it looks all like professionally like shot.
Yeah.
are your customers getting these professionally done, or are you getting them done for your customers? So
Look, it's
like,
a bit of both. It's
okay,
definitely a bit of both. Like we assist our customers in organizing that kind of stuff sometimes too. But most of the time, especially in Australia, I've noticed that people do love getting their projects photographed. Yeah, just keeping
yeah,
memories, I think, is a big part of it.
okay. I was wondering that because like if I got a customer photo, it would be from an iPhone and it would look
Mm.
crap. And like
Yeah, look,
these are
yeah,
like
yeah,
all professionally done.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool. So
Mm.
what if, I mean, first off, I want everybody to go over to your website. I mean, we're talking about quality and textures and stuff, but it means nothing until you actually go and actually see it. The mix, I didn't see this last time I talked to you. It was like your handles have different material selections, like there's like copper and black together and stuff. I didn't see that last time. That's really cool. I,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we yeah, so look, our whole range, we really specialize in solid brass because it's just such a fantastic material for these kind of products. We have all sorts of different textures. So we have knurled, we have linear, we have smooth, of course. All of them have one thing in common, and that's just again the high quality, the big details, sorry, the small details that make big impacts, really. Um, Leaning into the whole finishes thing, when we started, we were mainly focused on black and the gold finishes as well, because those are the classics. But
Mhm.
then over time, as we got customer feedback, we started leaning into more finish offerings. So we started offering a brushed nickel finish, for example. And recently, you've probably noticed the trend of bronze colored hardware, so that dark, rich chocolate brown.
Yeah.
There's a very big push at the moment. Many people are using that kind of finish, but yeah, this just all comes back to we want to offer something for everyone. But no matter what their choice is, we want them to be happy with the quality, and with how it ends up looking in their space. So using those beautiful product photos and inspiration photos to help them make that decision as well.
Absolutely. So
Mm.
5 years from now, where do you see Passio? Do you see them just growing your e-com? Do you see showrooms? Where do you see them?
Right. Look, I mean, the big thing is we just want to continue on our mission to become a globally favored brand. So expanding our presence in all the countries in the world, that's a really big focus of ours, and that comes from continual product development, increasing our range as well. So again, we just want to offer something for everyone, and we want to work on our quality all the time, continually improving those products. And then going back to your question of e-commerce versus physical stores, look, yeah, we obviously want to continue expanding on our e-commerce routes because that's where we're based. But certainly in the future, we're looking into the physical space, so showrooms and getting products into interior designers' showrooms as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I want to finish off on where people could find you guys, what your website is, and just on social media, what your usernames are.
Yeah, so our website, it's www.passiointeriors.com.au. That's Passio. And the Instagram and all other socials is at Passio Interiors, just one word.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Julius, for hopping on tonight. And I'm excited and let everybody, all my followers, listen to this conversation and hopefully go onto your website and follow you on social media.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me, Eric. That was wonderful.